Good day, everybody. Jean Henderson Pierre, the Beverage Ramble, back again with you. Today we're looking at Pabst Hard Coffee. Pabst Blue Ribbon. 5%. This is an English sweet milk stout. So far it's gotten a lot of good scores. I've seen quite a few videos on the tube, and I said might as well. I believe this beer is here in Alabama, I'm sure, but so far I've only seen this in Mississippi. I bought the can of this the other day. Paid $1.99 for the can plus tax. So here's what the beer looks like. It definitely looks like looks like you're drinking chocolate milk. A nice glass of chocolate milk. Really, like, you get some of that nice sugary again, does have the coffee smell, definitely, like you're drinking cafe, drinking a cup of coffee with cream in it. So maybe French vanilla cream, possibly, or hazelnut. I'm definitely getting a sense of vanilla and a little bit of this in this right here. The coffee scent is right there as well. You definitely get that caffeine smell, coffee smell. English milk stout. So let's have at it. I sat out and kind of give it it's in my refrigerator, sat it out on the counter, kind of let it give it a little more warmth, room temperature feel to it. And I think it's probably better that way than drinking it, taking it out of the refrigerator and pouring it in the glass immediately. So coffee. I'm gonna say cappuccino, but definitely got that. Kind of does a little of a frappuccino. Those frozen frappuccinos that I'm sure we all tried. I've had them. That's kind of the flavors I'm getting from this immediately. Yeah, like I said, I think this is better when it's warmed. I think it's better, again, room temperature is, I say, if you have it in the refrigerator, take it out cold, but leave it up in that, someplace for a while. Let it stand a good 20-30 minutes or so. Let it kind of get that fullness to it, and I think is better. And I think, to me, it's better that way, like that. As I said, Pabst, of course, the world-renowned Pabst Blue Ribbon, one of the most iconic beer labels and names forever. They have done craft style beers before, and I mean, all the breweries have. Anheuser-Busch, InBev, Coors, Miller. Of course, now all conglomerate, all bought up by this person or that person now. So, but again, as I've said, they can do it, but if it ain't making money, then we're gonna cease production. And at the end of the day, a lot of these breweries back then, reading different books and looking through different books and looking up different things online about the beer industry back then, for someone, from the big boys to all these little in-town local breweries, I mean, that's the style of beers that they were putting out then. Everyone thinks, oh wow, that's the new thing. Going back to the I guess, the beginning of the craft beer movement, say in the 70s, you know, at that time, and then of course tailed down a little bit, and then revitalized back in the late 80s and throughout the 90s, and so on. Um, you know, thinking that was the new thing, but these breweries were making these styles of beers back in the day, back in the 20s and 30s and 40s. Well, the period, of course, during Prohibition, and of course, going on to the Great Depression. They were putting out these sort of styles, but money was not, if it was making any money, why do it? So I met Pabst recently. No, not recently. 2016. No, 2016, 2017, or 2017, whatever. Brought back the Old Tankard Ale. They found the recipe and brought that back. That was a beer they made. I thought it was a phenomenal beer, very well made. But unfortunately, that just wasn't kicking it and wasn't making any money with anyone. And they decided to cease making it as of recently, going back, I think, 2019. I haven't been able to see Old Tankard Ale in my town, or if I go to the nearest, the big package store here in my city. It's a Cottage Hill package store. There's several others, but that's kind of the big one where you get a plethora of amazing craft beers. They just discontinued, so I can barely find it. I may find it in Mississippi if I go back there again. I don't know. With all this stuff going on right now, quarantining this and the stay-at-home order, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know how this is. They can put these beers out, and I think this is a really good tasting milk stout. If you see my videos, I do like stouts a lot. I'm kind of particular about the time of year that I like to drink these stouts. I always say fall, winter is usually my time, not the spring and summer. We're in spring now, but stouts at that time are really good during the winter months. Something to kind of make you something warm and feel good, and particularly I like my stouts a little stronger. And that's why I said I wanted to kind of leave it out, let it kind of warm up a little bit, get a fullness of it, and I think that's what I did, and I think it came out. I think that was a good idea on my part. And my other issue I have with Pabst, not with but is their distribution. Distribution, for whatever the reason. I mean, the PBR Extra just came out this year, and for whatever the odd reason, there was only very limited in certain stores. I mean, I will go to one store in my town here, nearby, one of the Walmarts, whatever, or maybe a Publix supermarket, or maybe a Walgreens, or Wendy's, excuse me. And I would see it there. Then, not in my town, but let's say far out, I would see it there. Then go to my town, or parts of my town, I can't find it for the life of me. By my job where I work at, there's a 12 pack of PBR Extra, and I'm saying to myself, wow, up here, this part of town, near my job, Bay Minette, Loxley area, I see it here, but by near me, near downtown, near Mobile, or some of the nearest Walmarts, or even some of the grocery stores I mentioned, they're all within less than 5 minutes, maybe less than 10-minute drive for me. They're nowhere to be found. So I don't know. And I think that's always been the thing to knock on them, is that their distribution is just, they'll have it here and then it'll be gone tomorrow, just like that. Don't know why, but I think this is a winner. I'm hoping PBR really pushes this and really leaves this out there. I think there are people who want to get into craft beers, want to get into drinking stouts. This would be a good introduction to this. If you ever had a stout, never had it, or within a style, I think this is a good introduction. I know some others that with this style, I'm sure it probably costs a lot more. Maybe a 4-pack of this may be $15, I guess. I don't know, or maybe $10. Depends on the price. Depends on who's making it. So yeah, let's just see what goes on from there. I think they really succeeded in putting this together. So I'm gonna go with a 8.7. 8.7 score, so that'd be a B plus for the Pabst Blue Ribbon Hard Coffee. Check it out and see if you like it. I think they have a winner. John Henderson Pierre, the Beverage Ramble. And you keep on watching. And as always, cheers, live, laugh, and love. Hard coffee, hard coffee, hard coffee.